Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, yay! And I'm getting up to do my practice this morning. It's really early. I've already practiced for a little bit, but I wanted to share with you my gift of 10 minutes, which actually is more of a gift of 15 minutes. Here's something that I've learned from getting up early every day for the past 80 plus days and just getting on my mat and seeing what happens. So I'm trying to figure out a consistency in my practice. How can I remain consistent and get to my mat every day? Because honest to God, my life is so much more productive and rewarding. I'm a better person. I'm a better mother. I'm more engaged. I have more time when I spend that 10 or 15 minutes on my mat. So I'm going to share this with you this morning. If you like my t-shirt, you can go to ybi.coalition.com and get this t-shirt. What a Yogi looks like t-shirt. You can support the campaign, because I know people always ask when I wear t-shirts where I got them from, and there's a plethora of sizes, so that's really amazing. But I digress. So I want to get back to our mat. What I've learned in keeping my mat, my practice consistent is, one, to set up a dedicated space if that's available. It could be your living room, it could be next to your bed. I'm fortunate enough to have a studio in my home, so I have a dedicated space. You see all the bolsters behind me. Thanks to my husband for creating this space for me. I write it on my calendar, make it a priority, like I do anything else, my kids' soccer practices, my life in general. So that keeps me on track. And then I have a community who's with me practicing, which really helps. And this can be your community if you choose to do so. And there's also, I have an online studio called yogastea.com, which also, we support each other in the practice. We have a Facebook group so that those of us on the site can share our practices, and I'm going to share this one with them. So here's my gift of 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to set a timer because that usually turns into 45 minutes. And that was the big aha moment. Even though I've set 10 minutes up for myself, my 10 minutes often becomes 15 or 20 or 25, and in some cases 45 minutes if you've ever done a Facebook Live class with me. It just kind of evolves. But I'm going to set a timer today for 15 minutes. What you'll need is a mat, any tools that you like to use to make your practice more accessible, be it blocks, a strap, a blanket, a bolster, whatever you like. So bring that to the mat with you, and we're going to get started. So let's get this show on the road, as my dad would say. All right, so meet me on your mat. So I'm setting a timer for 15 minutes so that I don't go over. That's my MO. And then let's just take a moment to sit in gratitude and meditation. We'll do it for 1 minute. Go ahead and close your eyes. Find your breath. So I'm going to do my natural, normal breath. Equal inhales, equal exhales out through the nose. If you have an Ujjayi pranayama practice, you certainly can engage that by expanding through the chest laterally and constricting the back of the throat on the exhale. It's an internal warming. So let's just come to our breath and set the intention for the practice. My intention is always to come as I am, to do what I can, and to use what I have. So let's go ahead and take a moment to engage there. All right, let's come to our hands and knees. I have a piece of mat underneath my mat to pad my knees. Use a blanket, use a towel, whatever you need to make this more luxurious on your knees, and then just breathe. And we'll do a little cat-cow here. So rocking back and forth in your cat-cow, hips forward. I have my toes curled under. If you'd like to put the tops of your feet down, it's a great stretch for the tops of your feet, making sure you're pushing all of the 10 toenails back onto your feet. Good, or back onto the mat, I should say. Good, and just rock back and forth, start to open. And now we're going to add on here a little bit. So now, when I come forward, I'm going to bend bend my elbows, curl up, over, and back. Bending my elbows, curling up, over, and back. So if you want to play with this, go ahead. If you're okay with rocking back and forth, do that instead. Good. And you can always do just a simple cat-cow. You don't have to make this complicated. So just choose. And then on our next breath, we're going to spread our fingertips out nice and wide, take our knees back a little bit, and then extend the right leg out behind you, toes pressing down, bend the elbows, do one push-up and lower. Let's do the other side, left leg back, one push-up, and lower the knee, and then come back to puppy pose. Forward to tabletop. You can stay in tabletop or you can meet me in down dog. So just pick which pose works for you. If you're in tabletop, continue with what we're doing, which was rocking back and forth or cat-cow. If you're in down dog, go ahead and pedal the feet out. Lift up onto the toes, root the heels down. Make sure your fingertips are spread out nice and wide. Hands are out so that the outer shoulder lines up with the center of the wrist. So your pinky fingers may be off your mat here. Roll your heels back. And then everybody meet me in forward fold. So if you're in tabletop, step your feet forward. If you're in down dog, walk your hands back. And let's just be in our forward fold, knees nice and soft. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center as you walk to the top of the mat. We're going to play with some variations of sun salutes. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. This is a great place to use your blocks here, especially if this is your first practice of the day. Spread your toes, lift your heart. Exhale and fold. And let's go ahead and step right foot back, right knee to the earth. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, step your left foot back, all the way back, nice and straight, right behind you. Toes pointing down. Take a moment to breathe. Bend the elbows. Do a little asana push-up. Lower that left knee down. Right leg comes back. Spread your fingertips. Do a little asana push-up. Good. And then stay here for either cat-cow or down dog. So pick your particular pose. And then let's come to forward fold. Walking your hands back towards your feet or stepping your feet through from table. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Reach the arms back behind you. You can also bring the hands to blocks. Half lift. Fold. Left leg back to a lunge. Knee comes down. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, either you can bring your hands to the blocks if you like and slide your leg back and do a little push-up. On the right side, push-up on the left side. You can come back to your cat-cow or your down dog. If you're doing cat-cow, rock back and forth. If you're doing down dog, come forward to plank. Take your right knee down and your left knee down, bring your chest forward. Exhale, push back to down dog. And now walk your hands and feet together. Everybody come to forward fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's come to the top of the mat. Feet about 2 fist distance apart, or about the width of a block. And let's sit back into a power chair. Arms out in front, hands to the waist, arms behind. Wherever you like, but just see if you can get a little bit lower here. I built so much strength in my legs doing this. Go ahead and come up onto the toes. Bring the fingertips behind you. This is called drinking bird. Keep the back of the neck long here. Roll back into the heels, fingertips forward. Let's do it back and forth a couple times as we build heat. And then come back to your power chair. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, step back, right foot for warrior two pose. Take a big circle with the arms, bend into the square of the knee. Lining up our torso over our hips, peaceful warrior. And then I'm going to bring my hand to a block on the inside of my left foot, curl my chest open, and do an extended side angle pose this way. You can also come to the forearm You can take your fingertips to the opposite side. You can bring your fingertips to the floor, but just pick. Inhale back through center, warrior two. Let's take the block, place it right out in front of us. Turn our left toes forward, soften the knees, push out through the feet, forward fold. Beautiful. Take a few breaths here, as many as you like. And then when you're ready, pressing fully into your feet, moving your block to the other side. Inhale, come up. Turn the right toes out for warrior two. Good. Stay here, lining the torso up over the hips, bend into the square of the knee. You can take your peaceful warrior here. Beautiful. And take your extended side angle, however this looks for you. So pick the version that speaks to you. Beautiful. Take a moment here. Then if it's available to you, take your left hand to the floor, spin up onto your left toes, inhale right arm to the sky. This is a great place to use your blocks. Now lower your back knee down to the earth, plant your hands and send your right leg straight back behind you. Little push up here, 1. Second side, little push up here, 2. And either stay in cat-cow or come back to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale back to down dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, walk forward. This is now the top of your mat. Inhale, big circle up. Exhale, great place to use your blocks here. I'm going to just use my hands behind me here. Bend your knees, reach forward. Power chair. Exhale, reach back. Drinking bird. Come up onto the toes, lean forward, neck is long, tuck your chin. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, left leg back. Warrior two. So we're speeding up a little bit here, but you're welcome to slow it down. You don't have to stay up with me. You don't have to keep up with me. Peaceful warrior. Extended side angle. The one of your choice. Good. Back through warrior two. Grab your block, pivot on your feet. Forward fold. Widen your heels apart. Lengthen back. Good. Walk your fingertips back. Soften your knees. Turn your left toes out. Peaceful warrior. Your version of extended side angle, whatever that looks like for you this morning. Beautiful. And if you have your blocks available, you can take your right hand to the block, pivot on your right toe, left hand to the sky. Beautiful. Using your blocks here if you like, you can push back to down dog. Good. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower the knees down. And either find child's pose if you need a little break, or come back to tabletop. Right leg back, little push up. Left leg back, little push up. Good. Now either stay here for cat-cow, come back to down dog. This time, looking forward, let's walk our hands and feet toward the top of the mat. Now I went wide to make space for my body. You can do the same. Taking your feet out a little bit wider, using your blocks here if you like. Come into a little squat pose. You can take your blocks and stack them under your seat. If you need a little bit more support, you can bring your elbows into your knees and open your hips here a little bit. Okay, this is really good if you tend to have a really lordotic spine. I'm drawing the tailbone down. So lordotic means I have a big curve in my low back. Good. And then I'm going to release my blocks. Come back to just a bigger forward fold, a little bit wider. And I'm going to step back to down dog. You can step back to tabletop or child's pose. Good. Inhale forward to your plank. Exhale, push back to down dog. Now, lowering your knees down. Step your right foot halfway up your mat and come up onto the outer edge of your left foot for a side plank. From here, here's the tricky transition. Pivot on your back toe, pivot on your front toe. Woo, and come come up to a crescent lunge. You can twist into the crescent lunge this way. Come back up. Touch the floor. Come back either to tabletop or three-legged dog. And we're going to do the other side. Lowering down to tabletop. Left foot halfway up the mat. Come on to the other edge of the right foot. Side plank. And here's the tricky pivot. Take a moment. Pivot on the back toe first. Pivot on the second toe second. And then twist. Beautiful. Both hands come down to the earth or onto your blocks. Bend the knee. Push back to tabletop position. And now you can make your big toes close to each other, knees wide apart. And rest in your child's pose. Now, if you like, you can stay here, or you can make your way onto your back for your final rest pose. So we're going to take a couple minutes of rest. I'm going to keep my knees bent, because once again, I have a really curvy low back, and I have a lot of luxury luggage, so I find lying flat on my back doesn't really feel great. So knees bent. If you have a bolster, you can place it under your knees. And take a few minutes here. If you just want to take straight to Savasana, you can. If there's any extra stretches that you want to do, go ahead and take them now. And then you can always find your stillness, taking your time, finding your breath. And then when you're ready, you can draw your knees into your chest, right and then left, rock side to side, and then roll to your right side, push yourself up to seated, bring your hands to heart center, and there you are. That's your gift of actually 15 minutes this morning. I hope you found this helpful. And keep practicing. I know the hardest part of the practice is staying consistent. So set a timer, 10 minutes. Set a time in the morning, in the afternoon. And just come on your mat